Hi there. My name is Zane, and this is my World to Winton Drive project. I chose the song Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne. Great hard rock song for people who absolutely love that heavy metal. Now then, shall we get into my World to Winton Drive project presentation? As you know, I chose the song Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne. It was one of my father's favorite songs, and I learned to love it by hearing it every time on my way to school. It was very good to wake up to. It came out way before I was born in 1980. I was born in 2005. And the lyric I chose was that I know that things are going wrong for me. You gotta listen to my words. I think that perfectly encapsulates my personality because I make a lot of mistakes. But I think I shouldn't be defined by those, and I think people should still be able to trust me even after that. You know, Ozzy Osbourne, great musician. I love him. My cultural, ethnic identity. I was 100% born and raised in America. I love the food, hot dogs, pizza, all that good stuff. I like sports, basketball. I'm recently got into football. But I'm obviously, my true ethnic background is not that. It's just estimations, but I am 50% Burmese and I am 50% Palestinian. Hey, this is my culture. I chose the Chargers as the football team that I would like to support. They kind of suck right now, but it's my dad's favorite team, and he was the one who mainly got me into football. And, I like the color blue. I like yellow. It's really cool. I grew up on these Marvel movies, one that I watched back then was like Thor, the first Thor movie. That was really cool. And the newer ones, it's like Infinity War or Spider-Man Homecoming. I love all those type of Marvel films. I think they perfectly encapsulate the comics. Well, not really, but this is the classic burger, fries, and Coke. But I like my burger and fries with Dr. Pepper. I love that stuff. Classic American meal. Tastes great. Simple. And this is one of the foods that my mom has cooked for me. That is from Burma or Myanmar now. It's very good. I love all the amount of spice in it, all the spices and all the spice. It's very good, very succulent. And most kids my age grew up with a PS4 and Xbox, or in my case a Nintendo Switch. I grew up on Nintendo games, Mario, all that good stuff. And this is my father's side, the Ackley family tree. Husani Siam, my great grandfather. And Naza Hassan, my great-grandmother, who had my grandfather, Ismail Akila, or Ackley, and my grandmother, Miriam Akila Ackley, and then they had my two uncles and my father, Gabriel Ackley, Ralph Ackley, and Ariel Ackley. My dad went to marry my mother, Win Mimi A. Ackley, who then had me and my two brothers, Jordan Ackley, Zane Ackley, and Aiden Ackley. My mom's side of the family, the A family tree. My great-grandfather, Aoun Thik, and my great-grandmother, Dorothy Nu, who then had my grandfather, Mong Mong A, who then married my grandmother, Dahlala Win, who then had my mother and my uncle, who was Mung Mung A and Win Mimi A. Ackley. My mother then went to marry my father, Ralph Ackley, who then had my brothers and I, Jordan Ackley, Zane Ackley, and Aiden Ackley. Both my dad and my mom's push versus pull factors coming to the Bay Area. My dad's pushes, he landed a job here in the Bay Area at Walmart, and until he quit, he was a manager. And they also had he had bigger and better houses over here. The pull factor, better living conditions. Before he moved to the Bay Area, he lived in a small apartment with my mom, And now that we are here, we live in this great house to this day. and also the beautiful scenery in this place. My mom's push and pull factors were she moved here because of my dad and her job at Home Depot. But also, she also then later had a better job opportunity at Expeditors. And also, bigger and better houses. She loves this house just as much as she loves us. Very cool. My mom's pull factors. She had better job opportunities here after she quit her job at Home Depot. She loved the beautiful scenery of California in general, and this place was perfect for her. Okay, my father's side. Ackley push versus pull factors to America in general. Push factors were Bolivia had an unstable economy when he applied for a visa. That includes inflation. One day gas may be $15, and the next day it could be $100. The army was constantly trying to overthrow the government, and that was very scary for someone who was living during this time period, because you wouldn't know when an army would march through your neighborhood. You wouldn't know. You don't know that they were on the street next to you. And he, especially my grandfather, he feared religious persecution, and he found better opportunities in the USA than he would in Bolivia. His pull factors. Obviously religious freedom. My grandfather, he was big on religion, he was big on God, and he had a very big impression on my dad with that. He's also very big on God. Also better education. After he got here, he sent my dad and my two uncles to a private school. He very much valued good education. He had a better job opportunities in the USA. He owned a general store, sold a little bit of everything, and that kind of helped him out. He also had apartments, which also helped him. And this place had a stable economy, somewhere he could settle down and live peacefully. My mother's push and pull factors to coming to America. Push, good education. She wanted a better education. Her father wanted a better education, and even to this day, my grandfather, her father, is still very big on education. More diversity, more freedom. She talked about how in Singapore she was always looked on as different in a sense, but here there's so many different types of people that it doesn't really matter in the end. It had better jobs too. Singapore had usual just like office jobs and a bunch of jobs that she didn't think suited her. Pull factors. She wanted a good education. She went to Fresno State as a foreign student, which is the reason she met my dad in the first place. Beautiful scenery. Her main thing was that, wow, California has beaches. Those are so beautiful, so cool. And better housing than Singapore. Singapore, it's just like a bunch of apartment complexes and only really like wealthy people can afford good houses. So this place is definitely life-changing for her. I think the family role model that I should choose was my grandfather on my dad's side. Because I think even he had a job in the government. He had a very good place in the government and was fairly well off in Bolivia. But he put his safety and his family's safety above everything else because of how unstable and how dangerous Bolivia was at the time. He sold everything he had in Bolivia just so he could apply to a visa, get on a plane, and fly to a new land where they could start over and have a better life. He prioritized great education so he could send my dad and my uncles to a private school where they can learn the importance of God and religion and education in their life. My future plans. I want to continue making my parents proud and get good grades for my sake and theirs. I want to make it onto one of the sports teams here at DLS, most preferably a team that is not. That actually requires me to get work to get in. If there isn't any cuts, there is no challenge. Be a good brother. Set a good example for the one younger than me and lessen the load on the one older than me. And finally, I want to continue being myself. I don't want to exactly go into what is super popular today because I know I'm just going to regret it and not feel myself when I am older. So I want to live my life to the fullest, right here, right now, every day, in the future too. Thank you for watching my presentation, Have a good day.